Former staff in King Charles' royal household have spoken about their experience with the monarch and laid bare some key details about his role as their boss. Working for King Charles is not like working a regular 8-hour job, as the monarch can be a demanding boss, sources who have spoken to The Times have claimed. One source said, he was demanding in that he is always working 7 days a week. Never stops. At any moment he may want to call you about something. Working on his boxes, on his ideas, on his papers. The pace is pretty intense. Another source said that phone calls from Charles could happen at any time of day, even on Christmas Day. Richard Aylard, King Charles' private secretary in the 1990s, once received a phone call from the royal butler, Harold Brown, to say the former Prince of Wales would ring him at 3 p.m. However, the butler phoned again at 3:30 p.m. to say Charles would instead ring at 6 p.m., and this continued all weekend. The ex-Duke of Cornwall eventually phoned and said to his private secretary, Richard, I've been out in the meadow and I've found what I think is an orchid. According to a former member of the royal household, King Charles is also never satisfied with himself, or what he has achieved. People around him had to work hard to keep up. He had enormous stamina. The source added, he would drive people hard. He was full of ideas, always asking people to go and do things. The workload as private secretary would be immense. He had strong opinions. He also had a proper temper on him, which was quite fun. He would rarely direct it at the individual. It would be about something, and he would lose his temper. He would throw something. He would go from 0 to 60 in a flash, and then back down again. Things would frustrate him, especially the media. Dickie Arbiter, the former press secretary of Queen Elizabeth, recalled the time the king lost his temper. Mr. Arbiter was walking a short distance away from King Charles with another member of staff when the king had an outburst directed at the courier. According to The Times, Mr. Arbiter recalled, I said sotto voce, if anybody talked to me like that, I'd tell them to bugger off. In a loud voice so that King Charles could hear. There was a slight flicker of a smile, but he got my message. The only thing he could do was fire me. And he didn't. Catherine Meyer, an author who has written about King Charles, quoted a businessman she interviewed who set up an event at the monarch's household. The businessman is reported to have spoken about the glaring flaws in the organization of the royal household and said he got the impression that members of staff would purposely cause issues so they could tell the monarch they had solved the problem. Another former member of the household, who worked for King Charles after he married Queen Consort Camilla, said, someone said to me early in my time how quite a lot of people in that world see it as quite zero-sum. If Hess talking to you, Hess not talking to me. If Hess reading your note, Hess not reading my note. They added, well, it's a court, right? So in our case, there were two individuals who are the font of all power, and everyone wants to be close to that and to be drinking from that.